By then read it. Hi family, you're welcome on Blackwood Fire Network. Good evening from Kampala, Uganda. It's Africa Maria today, of course, from Kampala. Well, today's topic is a little bit sensitive. We're going to talk about trauma, racism, trauma, and mental health. Now, well, I should say racism is something that a lot of people, more especially the black people, experience not only in diaspora but also in Africa. There is a group that I'm in. Is it's a group of black people. Um, but when you read through their comments, actually, most of them believe that Africans do not experience racism and Africans don't experience what other black people do experience outside Africa. So they're like saying that they are in the middle of all this suffering, and we shouldn't even dare talk about racism. Um, Racism, I don't know how people view it. Um, there is a difference between segregation of people of color according to your color, but race can be in different ways. It can be on tribe, what we call tribalism. So racism is a bigger, you know, um, is a bigger umbrella that harbors all these segregations. And I guess maybe people in Africa do not experience it at a larger scale compared to our brothers and sisters outside Africa. But yeah, they do. Some do experience this. We have experienced this by other people. We have experienced this through exploitation of our resources. Bojo bwana obwo bukwesama. Nikyesama ogwino bagudulikemu ebihuru ku maanyi. They've been making noise anyhow. So racism, we all we there is I don't know. Okay, I don't want to say there is no one who has never experienced this, but at least the biggest percentage of people have ever experienced this, and it is the worst feeling ever. Racism is the worst feeling ever. Now, you're going to excuse me a little. Let me try to text some family to know that I'm going live. Sorry. So the worst racism part that Black people have ever experienced, of course, that is commonly known and also prominent, you know, is during slavery. Is starting in this, 1060s, in the United States, where Black people faced oppression in form of enslavement, from their African descendants, you know, apart from all that, you can see for you not being treated as a human being is already, you know, is already, affecting you mentally, physically, and how you view things psychologically. You know, the fact that most Black people, are not till today treated as humans. Hello, GB Java. You're welcome on Black Fire Network. My brother, I'm so super excited to see you here. So, we are talking about racism, trauma, and mental health. And yeah, when we talk about these kind of things, I don't mean like most maybe those other people, the Mzungu does not have mental issues, but whether the Mzungu has mental issues here on Black Hot Fire Network, we discuss about issues that really affect us as Black people in our community, yeah, and how we respond to a lot of various things. Now, um, racism actually brings trauma in mental health, and this is something maybe a lot of Black people don't want to hear because basically the word mental health, maybe someone feels like, okay, they think I'm not sane, and they find like it's a an abusive thing, and actually, according to me, I feel like we've so very much neglected that part. We are so very much exposed to mental, health. We are so very much exposed to mental ailment. Sorry, as Black people, we are so very much exposed to this kind of trauma mentally because it's like the entire world is so very much against that, and it is so very very appalling and so saddening that most of the Black people do not want to talk about the mental health that is really affecting the Black people. I've ever, lived, with the community of the Black British and also a few of the Black Americans. And at times I be viewing them, and I'm like, wow, yeah. Because there is a way they view things, they respond to things, radically so fast. It's like they are used to a certain kind of lifestyle where you're supposed to take care of yourself, where you are always on guard. Like when I use the word like someone being always on guard, it's like at the slightest thing you're responding, simply because the society has taught you, differently. For me, it's a lifetime of microaggression from the Zungus more than avoid. Or is it not true? Now, true that, yeah, you're right, because where Jimmy Jabba's point expands through the entire world. It expands even to the deeper parts, of course, of Africa. Now, like I was saying, like racism does not only happen in the US or in Canada or in the UK, Germany, and everywhere Black people do Satan, but it also expands to the depth of Africa as well. And we have also been affected down here. And also the way we believe and also understand things is quite a little bit different from how we are supposed to, understand these things. Now, mental health, like I was saying, is something that should be really, tempered with caution. It should be something that is very, very, it should be something that people are so willing to respond to very, very fast. But as Black people, I don't know whether it's because we do not have very many, mental, professionalists whom we trust to open up, with our feelings and also tell them how we feel. Being that we are living in an environment where we are being attacked from left and right, maybe we are so scared to open up, and maybe we feel like maybe the society is going to use this against us. I've realized this, that most of my brothers and sisters outside Africa, they are so very conscious to a lot of things, visiting hospitals and a lot activities that actually is their right to, but they are so very much conserved. Like some of them even don't visit Muzungu's hospital. Some of them are like, you know what, this data can be taken and next time they will use this against me. Okay, I'm using an example of now a mental issue. Having a mental problem doesn't mean that you are not sane, but sometimes you're going through psychological, issues, problems that maybe sometimes you need to talk to somebody, tell the person how you're feeling about something. Okay. So I see like you may find that a lot of black people really withhold. They withhold that they don't want to talk to people who are responsible of taking care of their health simply because they are so afraid. Okay, when I open up to so and so, I mean, they may use this, from their database, and tomorrow I may get shot. And the first thing they'll say, they'll bring out the record. He wasn't mentally okay, or they'll use this, um, to pin me to a crime that I've not really done yet. The fact remains that we as black people have so very much been exposed to mental ailments, the environment, the society, and political wise, and everything that is around us. Actually, it's only the strong that are surviving this wave, but actually black people are being so very deeply, hard, and also experiencing a lot in the world today, and yet in turn they are being neglected in one way or the other. Now, like GB Jabba says that arresting for him it's a lifetime of microaggression. For me, it's a lifetime. Okay, you're talking about that trauma and health, mental health. It's a lifetime of microaggression from a Zungu's more than racism. So the aggression, of course, like I said, most of the black people react so very much to things because they are used to being on guard. So whenever you're on guard, it's like your ears are so alert. So it doesn't matter what somebody has said, but the moment your body talks like everyone is looking at you, or you're a criminal, or the society sees you as a criminal, or so your body is always responding so very fast to action, to the point that that's what we see. A lot of black people are not they are you find that they end up doing things mistakenly, because they have that mental psychological trauma, actually, that the society is out there hunting for them. And at the slightest thing, we do a lot of things. We are seeing a lot of black people being shot dead in the US, Texas, and in other places, simply because they do not, they know whenever I'm seeing police, it's either I'm going to die today. Once the police stops me, I'm dead. So this is something that is in the black man's mind. And at times, we end up actually being killed because we are so scared. We have been traumatized. We have been so psychologically affected, and we are so very much afraid of police, and all these other people who have rather not showed us a positive vibe, or how we are supposed, to live together with them, but rather they have scared us away, that we look at them as hunters, and we are them prey. So this has really affected a lot of black people all over the world. Even here in my country, I will say something like the saying that some people are so very much scared of police. The moment the person sees police, is like, no, I don't want to go to jail, even when you really, you haven't done anything wrong, but simply, and someone else will say, I don't have money. Now, if they take me, I'm going to jail, something like that. So we do not have that freedom, and we don't have that peace of self, and we are so very much scared wherever we are. So that kind of trauma. For other hybrids to exist amongst us, we must be reprogrammed backwards psychologically. Um, the polarity or vibration of the planet has to have affected in order for us, has to be affected, okay, in order for us to control in all aspects of our existence. And this is very yeah, true that. Well, we are being controlled, just like Lando. Is our cat, it showed like we're being so controlled, like we are like in a prison of ourselves, and in a community prison unknowingly. Of course, we welcome Lando. Thank you very much for joining. Okay. Also, the subliminal programming in media, advertising, it affects us. True, true. It also affects us actually, and yeah, you're right. You're right. And actually, most of the black people, I'm sorry. Someone may say you're saying a lot of black, so and Bazungu do the same. So I don't care what Mzungu is doing, okay? Most of the black people out there have take a lot of time on on media. Take a lot most of their time. They spend most of their time in media than going out there and socializing with lots of other black people. Well, me personally, I'm guilty actually, but I'm not someone who's always like on media or what, but I'm guilty because most of the time I'm either reading a book or I'm watching a movie. I hardly even go out. Sometimes I go out once in a while. So I guess I'm guilty for all that. I take time to socialize with with people. So sometimes even I may be around and I don't know what's going on around my place. So I think this is the character of a lot of people, and so sitting on these TVs and the television and the media and the advertising and all that, like Jibjaba is saying, actually controls our minds, our mindset, and turns us to believe or think in the way that they are actually programming us. So, it's high time maybe some of us took a stroll down, see Mother Nature, connect with nature. As we black people, we do connect with nature, and as we want. So I feel like we really need that at sometimes and think. Make yourself think. Sit down and think. Okay, you start thinking by yourself. First of all, that's one way also of making your mind expand and also view things very differently. Many of us develop of IT attitude by this programming racism. True, GB Jabba. And now that this programming is actually something that may be so very very hard to do away without, except if you are saying that we are tying ourselves we are tying ourselves around certain culture and beliefs. But actually you can see that these people are programmed that's so very good that without this kind of understanding we may not be able to survive in their own world. But it is also very 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 important for us like the black people to also know what they need and what their program is all about, and also still behind this programmed mind have us conscious, the subconscious of us knowing exactly what we up to, because first of all we need to survive, and two, we also need to live. Now those are two things. You have to survive in their world and you have to live, normally. So the reason these are two things, surviving and living. They may sound to be similar, but in this perspective of today's discussion, you may live, you may survive, but when you are not living, you may be like a walking dead person. So we, like black people, we need to survive. So we have to know their matrix. We have to know their matrix because this is what their market is all about. So we have to beat them by their own game. So it's like they may think that we are so dumb to understand or realize what's going on because we are behaving like we are so stupid. But behind our mind, we know that this is a matrix. So this is what I'm talking about. We as black people, we have to survive and we have to live. In this world, there are people who there are people who are surviving, but when they are dead already, they are like the walking dead. So this is something that black people should know: survive and live. Live when you know what's up, what's going on. You live, knowing the matrix that we are living in today. But like Lando is saying, many of us develop, the side note. Thank you. Don't hold contract sides. Many of us, like I was saying, many of us, develop our IT attitude by this programming, racism, affect out. If I, whatever it is, the fact it, yeah, that's why I know that's what you meant. So, many of us develop the fact it attitude by this programming, racism shit. That's why GB Jabba was saying, yeah, I know. And then, of course, we don't care about a lot of things. We don't usually socialize with other people, so we don't want really to know what's going on with other Black people in the community we are living in, simply because a lot of things are taking our time. Black folks, thank you, GB Jabba, for that. I'm even about to comb it out. My mom was complaining about my hair. Oh, my mom. I'm about to comb it out. She's complaining about it that I look like a thug. Mm, African mothers. Black folk, black folks practice nature, and we civilize the planet. Civilization was for the hybrids. They wasn't created by nature. Their nature is of savagery. Therefore, their behavior was necessary to survive. Mhm. Well, that's what Lando is saying that black, yeah, we practice nature, but we've so very much neglected. Like Jibby Jabba was saying that we have developed this kind of fuck it attitude. So we've so very much neglected. How many people even troll down the forest or nature, or go down the parks and go in a quiet place just to think, just to give themselves a break out away from the pollution, the noise, and the conflicts, and all that. Actually, it would be, but I have a friend of mine. I posed this very question, and I was like, yeah, when did you last take a walk around the parks and relax and rest your mind, get some good fresh hair and all that. When did you get that fresh air and everything? And I was like, yeah, it would be a good thing to take that, but it's very, for us like Black people out here, every step you take outside of your house, you have to be glad that you're back alive. So I'm like, wow, I understand. And this issue of police, actually, we are seeing the same thing happening. I don't know how the police system is designed down here, but well, for us, it's not about the brutality or somebody shooting you dead. So, yes, such instances do occur, but basically, it's about bribes and corruption, that they may even take you with no offense simply because the way you look, you seem to have some money, and then someone will just come after you. They take you to cells. If you don't give them some money, the thing will escalate down. You go to prison, and that's how shit is down here. So basically, it's about them wanting money. It's the corruption and the bribe and all that. I don't know, and I don't think um, most there is something more to that, unless you someone who's against like the govt, the government. Maybe you are in a local, but basically most of the police here, it's always about corruption. They will look at you, they get to know your movements, so they'll be like, okay, she got money in the morning, she goes the other side to work, of course. And in the aftertime, she's doing this, yeah. So they will get to know that you got some money, and all the time they'll be around your eyes, in shadows, of course, until they get you squeezed somewhere. And until you release some money, it's when they know. So that's why me, I don't really like things that are not straight. Even if most of African people do their things in a very kind of okay, kind of weird way. So some other one will be like, um, you know, we need cheap things. I'm not somebody who likes cheap things, and I was going to argument with others. So in Africa, you can get everything with every money you have. This is something I know. We may be the same, and probably we're going to buy this equipment, and we all going to purchase this equipment at different prices, from different stores, but the same equipment. It could be a different quality, but looking the same. It could be the same quality, but we gotten from different means, like what they call black market. So probably these people who go in and rob other people, get stuff, they don't know how much those stuffs cost. They be selling them on the streets, and so this is all about me. If I'm to buy something, I really need to take a receipt from it, and I don't buy things from black market because deep in me, deep in my heart, I know either someone must have died, for this. Maybe someone must have been killed. Someone must have lost their lives, or got into a terrible situation for me to to buy these things cheaply. So it's like I'm also supporting this kind of thing. So I'm not this kind of person who really does black market things. So if I don't have money, I don't buy something. And that's why some people be like, Maria, you just want to buy things expensive. But I have my own, I have the way I believe. I believe in my own kind of life, and I believe in my own kind of way. So I don't want to get something cheaply at an expense of someone dying. I mean, I'm carrying this thing because I bought it with a little money, and someone is buried down, 5 feet. Do they even bury them? 5 or 6? I don't know. But they bury. So I'm moving around with this simply because I don't want to buy something legit. Um, our mistake is not understanding that the hybrid doesn't have a humanity. You cannot civilize Netherlands. You cannot civilize Nether Neanderthal or type ape types mankind. He has learned how to act civil. That doesn't make him human. Okay, now Lando, our mistake is not understanding that the hybrid does not have humanity. You cannot civilize Neanderthal or ape types mankind. Now, I don't know you guys. I don't know if you've ever studied about this or human revolution. Um, where a man was evolving from ape, all kind of crap. That most people actually till to date in Africa, we study that the black people came from ape, and you will find that they are teaching this in schools. They are teaching this in schools. They are teaching this, uh, all the young people know that we came. To the point that I remember there is a song that we used to sing in one of the languages here, though it's not my language. But we used to sing in that language, and the song would portray like I was a monkey before, or I was an ape before. So respect me because we are related. We some kind of shit like that. So this is something that we are taught here, and this is the mindset of a lot of black people in Africa. We believe that Amzungu is superior. Amzungu is a human, and we are not. We are, involved from the monkeys. We went on developing until now, and that's why maybe we most of them do see themselves as they are so, they are inferior, to Muzungu, because most of them actually, most of the people in Africa don't know that we have white apes. They don't know that we have these white apes, and they think, oh, so when you tell them that we are not, they are like, but they are not apes which are black. So do you mean these guys became black and all that and what have you. So this is the mindset that actually we all know that the education system of Africa was programmed by Zungu and um, for their own purpose, you know, and they teach us what they want us to know. We are not taught about the real history. Here in Africa, it should be a place, it should be a library of Black truth. Africa should be a library of Black truth, exhibition, and facts. But again, most of the Africans are so mind contaminated, and this starts from a very, very early stage that most of the African parents should actually break this chain, because it is very sad for a young Black African in Africa to think that he came from an ape, and a black ape, and actually, or a black monkey. So he believes that maybe my ancestors were monkeys. So right now I'm the developed model. I'm a different model. And Mzungu is a god. This is the mindset. So Mzungu is a god. Some Mzungu maybe created this monkey, and then for us we are this, we are these animals, and they are the gods and all that. And this chain does not break. It is very, very painful that even at this era, this kind of education is still being taught in schools, where even still mature people know that this is not the truth. I don't know who governs the education system or the board of education, but this is something that a lot of Africans should sit and discuss about. These kind of topics are not necessarily needed in African schools, because there is a way they make these children feel so inferior and superiorizing people who are actually the other way around. How will you tell somebody that Mzungu is not here for you when the picture of it all says that Mzungu is my God and I'm an animal? Now, this is the life that a lot of Black people actually in Africa are experiencing, because everything starts from the grassroots. Everything starts from the grassroots. Teaching this old age system starts from, elementary three. Now you're teaching this a child who's in elementary three and is learning these kind of things. What are you imparting in this child's mind? And what do you expect that will be the result of this child towards self love and self understanding? Okay, maybe we were taught this way back, but still, if it is still happening until today, that means Africa itself has a problem, because we have so much grown and also opened our eyes to reality. I wonder why we are still doing this in schools until to date. And yet even the very teachers who are teaching this, they know that it is wrong, but they will teach because it is the curriculum, and this is what is supposed to be taught. King Leopold, of course, said, teach them how to read and write, but don't teach them how to understand. I believe that we are still pursuing King Leopold's education system down in Africa. And until Africa breaks away from this kind of education system, there is no progress that Mamaland will receive. Because it all starts from learning, it all starts from the education system. But the kind of education system that we are experiencing does not really benefit the Black people. And that's why we're even finding a lot of unemployed, smart and intelligent Black people on the streets doing theft, robbery, and all that kind of thing, lacking jobs, because the education system that we are attending today is not meant for us. This education system is not our system. It is not for us, but rather it's there to keep us sleeping. Let the sleeping dogs lie. Like when a chimpanzee learns to use a toilet or use cutlery, It's still an land of our children should be taught that before nursery school to lay a foundation of high self-esteem. Exactly. I hadn't even read Judy Jabba's comment. I'm just reading it right now. This is what I'm talking about. And they teach this ape kind of stupid story when these children are at a very, very young age. So they are planting this seed in the Black Africa, in the African child mind that we come from the chimpanzees. Mm. Our mistake is not okay. I read that already. There is a vast difference between you and us, the humans, and the hybrids. All they are mankind. We have polarity or balance. The hybrid doesn't have that type of melanin. Yeah, we have balance. Joby, hi. You're welcome on Black Hot Fire Network. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, so yeah, we know that. And that's why we are seeing a lot of them doing the intermarriages. That's why most of them are chasing a lot. I was with my research professor on Friday at school. He was telling me that they are doing a research actually um, about these the interracial marriages and why a lot of Bazungos are taking interest in African women. Now we are not seeing a lot of Bazungu. Yes, there are a lot of Bazungu women doing the intermarriage, but if you look at the rate of men at women, men are so very much into the black women, and so they are doing this, they are carrying out this research to know what is going on. And what Mama Africa doesn't really understand is that this Muzungu is out there to hunt her, coming in this guise of a lot, a lot of things. But the biggest issue here is to keep their lineage, going, their lineage expanding, simply because the world itself is actually changing. And if you look at nature, nature is like, it's so very angry. Nature is very annoyed. Nature is not happy with the world. Let me use that. So it is very scary to Zungu. So they know that unless we intermarry or we crossbreed our genes with them other, these other black people with the if genes, simply, we may not be able to survive with the way, nature is, unfolding, with the way things are going on. And we know it is only an African woman who has got that gene. And the gene that you cannot find, somewhere else, the gene that you cannot find with other people, that is found with an African woman. So that's why we are seeing most of them who understand this matrix actually, who know us. It is very, very painful that most of us do not know who we are, but these people know us. They know who we are, and that's why it is very easy for them to infiltrate us. So you will understand that most of these people come in to intermarry with the black women for that specific gene, because they want their children to have it. And it is only Mama Africa, it is only the black woman who has that gene and who transfers it to her children. If you're a black man, even if you marry a Mzungu woman, she can never transfer that gene to your child. It is only an African female who has that. And she's the only one who is capable of transferring it to her children. So that's why we are seeing a lot. We saw a lot of prominent, I will not specifically mention them, a lot of prominent Bazungus coming to intermarry with the black people, and black people be celebrating about it all. So they've begun to love us. They've been treating us like sheep, but now they're accepting this. But they don't really understand the game behind this. They don't really understand. It is that, it is for their own good for them to intermarry with a black woman. It is for their own, gain. And like, now it is survival for the fittest. And this is the game they are playing. And we are so loving ourselves that we are being loved. I mean, it's high time they've started to see us. I always see black women all over social media, being like they love us now. They used to call us blah blah, but now and talking those naughty words that black women love to say most on social media. So I'd be like, ooh, they don't know what's going on actually. So they think this people are here to survive. They are falling. They're here to mate with you and make babies so that their babies can survive, so that your gene can protect their lineage, so that your gene can protect their children, so that they can keep on expanding and expanding. Now, this is something that a lot of black women do not really understand. Hybrids cannot educate. Okay, I read that. Interaction, intercourse, or marriage is the destruction of our DNA. It's an abomination to the black folks. The DNA is called the mitochondria DNA, and only the black woman possesses this gene. Exactly. Lando is telling us, yeah, just like I've been saying, most of this, and women don't know this, it's only the black woman that has this kind of gene. And, you know, people be always asking us to why they keep Africa poor. Why are we so poor? Why have we been kept in this poverty state? Um, Africans, black people are very, very hardworking. This is one thing I know. Black people are very, very hardworking. But you and I know who controls the money, who controls the economy. It's going to take a toil and turn. It's going to take a huge time for us to turn around and make things right. And when you keep someone in poverty, it's the easiest way to control somebody. And that's why it has been so very easy for these other people to control the black people. There are no jobs for you. They made prisons for you. At the slightest thing, you are taken to prison. Coming out of prison, you cannot find a job. You know, just this whole system is just against us. Now, in Africa, they keep us at a poverty level that even, I will use an example of Kenya. Even the major banks in Kenya are being controlled by UK. And that's why they keep their shillings high. Because these people have got shares in the Kenyan economy, they have got shares. So if they decide that we are going to make them fall, if Kenya says that probably disagrees with a lot of things, they may say that we are withdrawing our shares, and then Kenyan shillings will turn to nothing. So these people have been controlling the economy in this kind of manner that most of us actually, you know, I've got a small business that I'm running. And at times I look at how many times I hustle, whether it's raining or not. I make sure that I do these deliveries. At times I sleep very late. I sleep in. At times I wake up when I'm feeling headache because I didn't have enough sleep, and I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to go to school. I need that school fees, and I need all that. But all these things you do, in the end of it all, you try to count your money, and it is not enough. I'm saying that African people or black people, even outside Africa, are very hardworking. First of all, we are very energetic, and we can, maneuver through a lot of situations First of all, our body can persist no matter the weather, and that makes us survive and stand out from many. But we are poor because that I will say there is someone who was telling me, no, it depends on how you're spending and all that. There are things that we cannot do without. I'll give you an example. I don't know how my brothers in the US do behave. Um, um, there are things that you see that are categorized by black people. And these are things that a black person, for that person to stay strong, energetic, physically fit, they need to have those things. Now, these are very, very expensive needs, you know. Joby, Now this shit, this electricity. Oh man. Kills it. But I'll still talk. I'll still keep on talking. The electricity is out. So Joby says that we earn what's ours, not like white people. Now this is what I was saying. Exactly, we do earn. Most people be saying black people. I always see people all over YouTube channels. Mama, was asking against it to feed. This is terrible. So all over, black people don't want to work. I don't think we are the most hardworking people, and we do hard jobs, and we stroll. Like Joby says that we work our hard-earned money. I was giving you an example, but there are things that these people, they know how to control us. Because first of all, they know GB Jabba is going to work, but after he comes from work, he cannot do away without this. He cannot do away without that. So let's make sure that we hike the price. And these are things that most of the black people don't really focus on. These are the minor things which are actually very, very important. The food we eat as the black people. So when you look at it, you will see that the prices of these things have hiked. That even if I hustle for this, I'm not going to be able to buy this. This whole money will go for this, and I cannot do away without this, because if I don't, I may not, have the strength again to work tomorrow. Mm. Mhm. Lights gone. Yeah, lights gone. My lights have been on and off. It's raining. It's raining, so whenever the lightning strikes so hard, the lights automatically put themselves off, I guess. So yeah, and it's always hot in the studio when there is no light. So this is what most of us are actually experiencing. I have to conclude, though. My mouth cannot just go anyhow like this, I think. And like I said, like this hustle of mine, I do it like from Monday to Friday. And remember, I have to go to school. My lectures start in the afternoon. So you will realize that every single day, oh, power is back. It is back. Whew, whew, it is back. Man, oh, I kept talk. Whew. So they disrupt nature. Harlando is saying that they disrupt nature in order to control and dominate us. Yes. Now I will say, you know, the one thing that black people, um, the one thing that keeps black people strong is the kind of food that black people really eat. And you're all going to believe me. When this type of food really, if the price of this food, I don't know, no one has told me this, but I think Lando, if you are not in Africa, Jibi Jaba, you can tell us. look at the kind of food you are eating, your seasoning and other things. You tell me if they are of the same price with the Mzungu's kind of food. Because of course, if the food is so high, that means we are living from hand to mouth. Whatever we are earning, we are eating. I was giving you an example. Joby says ugali. Oof. I ate ugali, sweetheart. I ate ugali since I've been in boarding schools. I've ate ugali since I was in elementary too. I've been eating ugali. I do eat ugali nowadays, but not like yeah. But I know you Kenyans you love ugali. You love ugali so much. Ugali is also here too. I've been eating ugali, but not because I've eaten it for I've eaten corn for a very, very long time. I've grown up doing that. And now I don't like it so much, but still I do miss it sometimes if I take long without eating it, like 2 weeks, I feel like I need it. So I think it is also a regular thing because if you miss something after two 2 weeks, that means you ugali is our staple food. Yeah. Yeah, ugali is good. Ugali is good. Yeah. So if you look at the food now, tell me how much is a kilo of ugali over there? You know, I experienced this last week. Actually, it rained. Was on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I think it rained from 3 until something like midday. It really, really rained. I had to move out of this rain. There is something that really made me so annoyed. I moved out of rain um, because I needed to go sell these stuffs. I had already made them, so I could not keep them. I had to go deliver them. In the rain, the rain showered me from morning at 7 until 2 in the afternoon. And of course, people order and I deliver. Some give me cash and some others order, online, something like that. So as I was delivering around and being washed by this rain, coming back home, I'm so soaked wet, and I was looking at my cash and I say, is this what made me, go through all this bullshit? And I was trying to budget and say, I'm gonna pay for some electricity simply because I really need to make more of this. I have to buy some more, products, actually just to check. And I was like, what is going on? What is really going on? So you look, I'm giving you the reason as to why it's very hard. The moment you hike the prices of things that you know are very important in people's lives, you are making their life very, very, very miserable. And of course, you are hitting the economy because there are things that someone can forego. I'll say maybe I may forego some stuff, but there are things you can't do away with that. Processed food is designed to destroy us through diseases. We in America doesn't eat organic food or electricity created from the soil. Wow. Jimmy Jabba is saying, Job is saying that a kilo of ugali is 25 Kenyan shillings. Let me first convert that. Let me first convert that. I see how much it is here. Your ugali is even cheaper. 2 point, oh, $25. Yeah, sorry. Ooh, are you serious? Joby, What? How is the ugali $25 sis a kilo? And if this is the major food that Kenyans eat, this is too much. My God. This is too much. My God, Joby. $25 a kilo of ugali. You people, you need to demonstrate. Hmm? You need to demonstrate. Because for us, a kilo of ugali is something like 15 or 10 US dollars a kilo. And you people, do a lot of ugali. How are you going to survive? Hmm? How? For us, a kilo of ugali is 10 to 11, 10 to 11, US dollars here. 10 to, but God, this is too much. That is too much, guys. That is too much. What's happening? Woo, I thought we are so bad. Yeah, we eat matoke a lot. Not all the tribes here eat matoke, but people here eat the matoke a lot. Not everyone. Most people from the western and the central eat matoke. The Luo people do not eat matoke. Luo people in Uganda do not eat matoke. But the Bantu eat it. Bantu eat matoke and millet. Yeah. So yeah, but here ugali is also, the main meal because most schools eat ugali. Ugali is also a main meal. It is very hard to see a Ugandan who has never eaten ugali or who does not eat a ugali at least once in 2 weeks. So that means everyone eats ugali here. But I'm so sorry what's going on down there. It shouldn't be $25. That is too much, dear. That's too much. And actually, this is too much now. How? Now you can see what is going on. Here, now it is rainy season. And now it is rainy season. You will find veggies. But the problem now with Africa is the people in the market. People do abnormal hiking of prices. You find someone is buying something at a low price, but is trying to hike the price, thinking that it is this money that is going to finish all their problems. And the government is sleeping about this, but otherwise they would be putting stakeholders and other people to sell these things at a very affordable price, and they kick out these people who are hiking prices. But the government of Africa are actually sleeping about this. When you look, you cannot come and tell me what to do in my shop. I know. But if I want to fight you, I will put big shops everywhere which are selling things at affordable price, and I see how you are going to still keep on hiking the prices. The problem, the economical problem, most of us Africans, we are still doing the same because we are very, very selfish. We do not love ourselves. We do not love our brothers and sisters. Sometimes you go to market, you find tomatoes. At times I go to market and I look at someone and I'm like, how do you benefit from this? So some people have really, a dark heart. And sometimes I tell my mom, I don't think if I can actually work in such kind of places. Because, first of all, if you don't comply with these people, they will always think you're bad. You go to a market, we all know tomatoes are very perishable. Okay? They are so ripened, but I'll come and I've bought like many tomatoes. I'm going to stock them maybe in my fridge, something, but you're still fighting for these tomatoes. Yet In the end of the day, by the time evening comes in, the tomatoes are rotten. You are carrying these tomatoes to go and pour them, on the rubbish pit. Yet you are refusing to give these tomatoes to your fellow human beings to consume. Now you can see how, I don't like using the word stupid, but maybe let me use another word. You can see how, bad-hearted some people are. And now this, some people hike the prices of stuffs because they feel like it is going to, it's going to finish all your problems. Now you hike the price of ugali and all that. And actually the blame also goes to the government, because why? You will check the international forex rate and the international market on television. You go to the shop expecting to find that, you find it is 3 times the price that the country is talking about. You find it is 4 times, you know. So this is a problem with our bad kind of governance, and Africans also behaving stupidly towards each other. So sorry, Wamma Joby, for that, for the price of garlic going up. For us, we are still a little bit fair because ugali is still like at 10 to 11 US dollars here a kilo. We do also have what we call mukene. They are very tiny, tiny kind. At least we know whoever doesn't have money can afford that kind of meal. Will afford ugali and those small fish that they call mukene. They are very nutritious. They can make women very, very fertile. That's why I find a lot of poor women here can produce even 4 children at a go, because they be eating that small fish. So we here they call it fish for the poor, but it is very healthy and nutritious. What happened? Your president is too busy smelling pineapple. You are smelling the pineapple that it does not have aroma. But I was also the same when I was. Now let me tell you. I know Joby can bear me witness. Maybe it's the same thing. In my country, like here, if I'm cutting a pineapple and I'm in my house, even people passing uh from the road, even my neighbors will know that I'm cutting a pineapple because it has a very, very strong aroma. It has a very, very delicious smell. So if the man did not smell the pineapple, he's trying to market. Now, y'all did not understand this guy. He was trying to market the Ugandan pineapples. That's why he was like trying to. This is how Africans are. That is how we do our marketing in a very funny way. So everyone is like, "How is that tomato?" So he was trying also to tell you he didn't see, it has that weird taste. So he's trying to tell you that he has some good tomatoes back in you. Sorry, pineapples back in Uganda. Oh my god, and my president is busy smelling pineapples. Now now all these things actually go down to our leaders, because and that's why sometimes someone will say, I'm not going to buy from these markets, but let me jump on a border or go, in a taxi. I go to the main markets and I'll buy these things cheaply, or to these other markets in the center of the city, because they know that the city councils will come and know the price. They will know that you have hiked the price, but these other other shops which are not governed by the councils, they usually tend to hike their products high. The problem is to allow the European to control African market and set your sorry. Let me first put it in vibration. The problem is to allow the European to control African markets and set your currency rates. Africa does not own its banking system, therefore, colonialism runs everywhere on the continent. I guess that's what you're saying. True that. Food prices do vary between neighborhoods. I only buy value added food. That's for GB Jabba. And then Lando says that we do not control our banks. We do not control our banks. Now, it's true, and we've seen this happening. Like Joby is telling us that a kilo of ugali, now ugali is a meal, is a Kenyan staple food that every Kenyan consumes ugali. It's their daily, everyday, today meal. And it is a kilo of it is $25. A kilo of ugali can feed I'm going to say averagely, yeah, a kilo of ugali can feed averagely 4 people. If those are eating average, it can feed 4 people, average eating. And so now you can imagine that it is only that ugali that is $25. For you, you may see it like it is small money, but for ugali to be $25, we are looking at an African who cannot afford that every day on a daily basis. Now, like we said, most of the African banks have been are still in the hands of the Mzungu. Now, most of the main markets and the major banks in Kenya are still governed by Mzungu. They have a lot of shares in those banks, and that's why they control, the money, and that's why they so very much try to make sure that the Kenyan shilling does not float. When it floats, they hike the prices so that it can go back into line. If it they try to make sure that it is up at least next to a dollar. It's not so very low. But if now the food is very expensive, what is the value of the money? In US, rice 50 to 60 cents a pound. If you buy in bulk, oh my God. You see, now you can see that even food that side, even food that side is actually not as expensive as down here, yet we are the basket of food. We are the basket. We are expected to eat and even spread our legs and our hands and our stomachs in the sky. But we are not. And that's why you see a lot of things like on TV Africa, the Africans dying of hunger and all that kind of bullshit. But yet you are the people who are producing this food. People are farming. We have a lot of farmers doing cultivation. Most Muzungus eat prepackaged food. Most Muzungus eat and they eat fast food. They eat a lot. They don't want to go through a lot. When I was the International Monetary Fund forces the African countries to withhold government subsidies from farmers in the name of free markets. But the Western countries still subsidize their farmers to keep the prices down. Now, this is how they do the floating and how they make our money float, actually. And also, there is no now, farmers, first of all, a lot of products now have increased that even the farmers themselves have started to hike the prices of their commodities and or their produce, which is also making it very hard for the final man or the middleman to sell it at a fair price. I'm looking at Africa so very much focusing in the outside world and forgetting its people. Mm. This makes the African food prices rise. I'm looking at the focus that Dwight Davidson, you're welcome on Blackwood Fire Network. I'm looking at the scenarios where a lot of Africans are so very much focusing on producing food to sell to Muzungu's market and forgetting its own people. It's very funny. By the way, we have our own kind of understanding. You'll find an African is having organic food, growing organic food. Mama, ogia koraki, ogia koraki. Yeah. Okay. Mm-mm. Bali maogia kutoa kahunga. So you find farmers, they are having a lot of organic food. Now I'm giving you an African mindset. We are going back to the other issue where Orlando and Jibijaba was telling us that televisions have actually have programmed us. You look at a farmer deep in the African village is rearing, hen, local hen, chicken, in growing organic food. But this person grows this organic food to sell, not for home consumption, which is okay if you want to, get some money. But still, they forget that this kind of food is very, very healthy and nutritious for their children. They be packing this food after you get the local eggs, you get all the organic food, the organic eggs and everything, pack it on a truck, you are sending it to the city, they're going to pack it and send it abroad. And then as you're coming back, you are buying inorganic cooking oil, you are buying inorganic substance, you are taking them to your children to feed on. Now, this is the BS. But the fact that you even don't know the gold that you're having, I'm calling this gold because there is nothing that is as expensive as life and health. The more your health, I think, the more expensive you are. So they be selling these organic things, and on their way back home, they buy inorganic substances for their children to consume. Yet they are the producers of organic things. And I feel like we still have a lot of preaching to do to very many Africans who are outside, this kind of understanding, who don't really understand what's going on. Simply because it is all about you undermining yourself. So me as an African, I cannot make something great. As I'm coming back, I have to buy that thing that I saw Zungu. They are talking about like it comes from the US. I heard that kind of cassava is coming from India. I'm hearing you are also selling your own organic cassava, which is 100% organic and pure. So I have to take it to my children, they have to feel that, like they're coming from that BS. And it is actually, Mama kata kuntere. Mm. Nakubirako eddako. So, I'm telling you the kids. I'll call him later. So, Africa doesn't control its primary farmland, so it isn't producing the best food for African. best is shipped out to European countries. The IMF tells the African governments they must withhold subsidies in order to qualify for IMF loans. True. I'm telling you, all these points are true, just like Lam is saying and Jibijaba, sorry, and Dwight Davidson. Jibijaba says Ugali looks like what we call greens. Ugali is corn, I guess. um, People always focus on that more, like you're saying. It's very funny that for us as the producers, we consume the residues, and the first class is shipped abroad, which is the vice versa, because from the abroad world, let me use that word, Africa is like a dumping site for them residues. We get substandard goods, we get everything substandard. Medicine, even medicine, by the way, we are like a dumping site. Yet, when it comes to us, our government, we are still the dumping site for our own made products. We take the residues, the citizens and the people of Africa still consume the residues, and the first class is taken, shipped abroad, or taken to outside countries. Yet we are still consuming on the residues, and still from them we consume the residues. Africa is turning into a dumping site from both African producers to those outside Africa. You understand? So, Jibijama says that Africa does not control its primary farmland. Well, it should be controlling it. But maybe we do not control the market, because it is not by force that you should. It is not by force that me, Maria, I'm not like a tenant. I own the land. I'm not like a tenant. It's not like it's not like we are living in a feudal society. Okay? I'm not like a tenant. I'm not a squatter, except in some other countries like South Africa, where Amuzungu took all the fertile lands. But we have this mindset of not understanding how this matrix works. All the Africans, the major purpose, they have adapted the Mzungu culture and the Mzungu lifestyle. That before, the major purpose of African farming was for consumption. First of all, we used to live in an extended family where we could farm for consumption. Now, every African who wants to practice farming is farming for marketing, not for that person to consume those goods, but is farming for market. That's why it is even going to be so very easy for the African farmers to embrace GMOs, because they are so very much focusing on money. They are so very much focusing on money rather than the health side of what they are actually farming. The Walmart model undercut the local shops. They go out of business. The Walmart will jack up prices because there is no competition. Ugali is nowhere healthy product. Comes in a starch vegetable. Corn is a starch vegetable, not readily good for consumption. And do you know, Lando, that now there are these people who are selling strict strict starch, corn starch flour that Most Africans now are not eating corn with the starch because they are removing all the starch and again putting it in another container and storing it for for alemekuwesa much. Yeah, and Uganda makes people so huge. I hear. Oh. But anyway, guys, my time is here. Thank you so very much for joining me on this show, Lando. My God, Lando, thank you so very much for always being here. Thank you so much. Blessings all the way from Uganda. Let them locate you wherever you are. Jibijaba, same way. David Dwight, David Dwight Davidson. Dwight Davidson, thank you very much. GB Jabba, like also of course Joby has been here with us. Thank you very much for coming through. What is that? Thank you very much, guys, for being here with me for all this time. Thank you so much for being around. It's always a pleasure having you here with me, even those who haven't or who have not actually commented. Thank you very much for always watching me. I know Kay Williams is watching, Robert Williams is also watching, Masquito and Senken Warren. I know they are all watching. Thank you very much, guys. For coming through. Thank you so much for loving Black Hole Fire Network and always supporting us. It's Africa Maria from Kampala, Uganda. Like I say, it's always a very, very big, huge, extra large pleasure to have you here with me, guys. I love you so much. Do take care of yourself. Don't forget to take plenty of water and protect yourselves. Take care, stay away from police patrols. And stay safe for me. I want to see you here the next day. High blood pressure is becoming a problem in Africa because of consumption of starchy food like corn. True that, and Africans do enjoy consuming corn for sure. Lando, thank you very much for those words of wisdom. Thank you for sharing your intellectual mind with me. Jibby Jabba does that always. Thank you very much. Listen time. Dwight Davidson, thank you so much for coming through again. And see you tomorrow, same time. I hope the electricity is okay tomorrow. It's a rainy season down here in Africa, but it has been a pleasure having you. Take care of yourself. Stay away from trouble. Run if you see police. Bye bye.